Mhm.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our Raw channel, Restoring Awesome Warriors. I'm here on a Wednesday night. I almost forgot what night it was. Just to talk and have some fun and have some real talk. My name is Jackie H, and I got my co-host here, Gil Barron, the judge. How you doing, big sis?
Oh well.
Okay. We're gonna continue our real talk. We all went down to Baltimore on Saturday, April the 19th, and we did our first live show for this year. And our topic was uh, think like a man, but operate like a woman.
Right.
So how did you enjoy yourself?
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it?
I
Enjoyed the whole trip?
I enjoyed the whole trip.
So we're gonna be doing some more having these pop-up sessions, just to continue our real talk, how we came up as family, saying that when we get grown, we thought we grown all the time, but when we got, so now that we have a chance that we can talk and help people, and I tell people I'm not an expert on this subjects, but I have plenty of experience.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to go through some hard things to learn, but once you got it, I'm gonna come back and share. So it's just a real talk conversation. We're not gonna be here long, but I'm still dealing on the subject of relationships, trauma. I think there's a lot of things going on in the world today, and with those two things, it's important to, I think, have a discussion.
It is.
So, what is your meaning? I didn't look this up, so I don't have it on my cue card, that you would consider what relationship mean. Maybe one of our camera people can look it up for us and just tell us from the dictionary. But I know it's two different people or whatever it is that coming together for a common cause, but you're different. So relationship, and you have to work something out. I'm not coming with your idea. We don't think alike. We come from different cultures. It could be how you was raised. It could be what you learned in society. But we want to work together, and we want to be together. But we're different. But it can be workable.
Mhm.
So we don't come together for our differences.
No.
We come together for what we have
In common.
in common. And I learned this real good from the military. When I went to boot camp in the Navy, and it was 80 women in my company. And that captain had to take all of us and get us on one accord. And we was all different. So we had to find that common cause of why we was here. It didn't matter about you being your color, your creed, your religion. All that didn't matter. It was just we was there to serve the military. So that's what we came common on. You played softball.
I did. And it was 11 of us. So it can happen. It don't matter how many the number is. Come together for one cause. We all had different positions, but our main goal, we wanted to win. So each individual had to play the position in the area they were responsible for. You didn't sign the pitcher at first base
Mhm.
or the catcher running to second base. Each person had their own individual function.
But you
And
was a
that's
team.
what was a team, and that's what made it work.
And sometimes if you get someone who just can't be a team player, most of the time you let them go. If you can't catch the uh, main thing that we're here together to work it out. So that can be in an intimate relationship, that could be a working business relationship, that could be a family relationship. we're all not the same, but we can come together for whatever that is that we're working out. And I found out even through my marriage and through life, um, I got to realize that man and woman think differently sometimes. Uh, I don't think God made us alike. He has his thought process, I have mine. But it took me every bit of 6 years out of 21 years to learn our differences and realize how important communication was. Because once you understood the person or how they operate, you can work anything out if you want to.
It's an art.
It's art.
It's an art.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, you ever heard of painting with a twist?
Painting with a twist, yes.
It's a twist to this thing.
Mhm.
It's not gonna always be your way, and it's not gonna always be my way.
Right.
But learning to, whatever the situation is, what do I bring to the table? What can you bring to the table so that we can get on the same road together?
Because we're opposite, so your strength I use, you cover my weakness.
Right.
My strength you can use, I'm covering your weakness. But if I don't even comprehend that, it can be like you just going, just going at that's any kind of relationship. You take what you can use and you go with that, and we can work out the difference. So, I'm going to bring stories up in between our talking, right? So I always tell this story with my husband. You remember one time that my sink was leaking and it was dripping real bad. So I don't know how to fix stuff. So I'm not doing a lot of things, but faucets and fixing toilets and stuff, I don't know how to do it. So this was like a Monday. It was early in the week that I asked him, could he look at the sink? It was water, like when we turned the faucet on, it was all over the place. I got all these towels and everything. So he said to me, okay. Now, mind you, he's there just watching TV, got the remote control, wasn't, in my opinion, you could have got up then to see what I was saying. So this went on to Wednesday. Every time I used to sink, the water, everything. So, Gail, you know us, we're going to make it happen. So I called someone to come and look at the sink. Oh, yeah, you would have thought I killed him. I told you I was going to do it. Why you got to call somebody? You act like you don't believe in nothing I did. It wasn't that. I was tired of getting wet. I was tired of the water on the floor. He said to me, I was going to do it Friday. Friday? I asked you Monday? And what I'm saying to you, because I didn't comprehend or know how he thought, this was a big, I think we didn't speak for 2 weeks over a faucet because I didn't comprehend that he heard me and he was going to do it Friday. I think if he would have told me I'd get to it Friday, it probably would still been a little like that long, but I didn't know. So I come to realize we was on two different wavelengths of even how we thought.
So even in that situation, did you ever think about, I know you don't like things out of order. You don't like broken things.
Right.
Did you ever consider that it was what was going on in you that made you antsy or haste to go and get somebody else versus waiting on him?
Yes and no. I believe that, I like things fixed, man. But I think if he was just told me that he gonna do it Friday, I think I could have did a little better and didn't call nobody. I wouldn't have called nobody Or I would have said, well, hon, I need it done now. Can you help me now? I would have had a different way of communicating. My point, I didn't know that you were going to do it Friday. It didn't make no sense to me. So I learned in relationship, you need to know each other. You got to get to know whatever relationship you are in. Is communication and comprehension is important.
And I heard you say this on Saturday, but I want to add another C to it because we need communication, we need comprehension, but we also need consideration.
Consideration. Okay.
Because a lot of times, sometimes where you don't know why he was said I want to do it on Friday. And if sometimes people don't tell you what they can't do, they don't want to tell you I can't do it. But because you keep saying this is what you want done, maybe it's too late have to tell you I can't do it.
So I got the title of being a nag. Wow. Well, why couldn't you just tell me you didn't know how to do it? Because you're too, but this is what I'm saying, learning, man want to make you think he can cover you, or someone will make you think they're strong. But only thing with me, some women, is your honesty. If you can't do it, you can't do it. I get it. I get it now.
But some things have to be taught. You don't all the time know what to say and do in that given moment.
Yeah.
What sometimes our expectation brings frustration. We have the expectation in our heads, but it's frustrating to somebody else, especially if they don't know how to do it and don't want to tell you that they don't know how to do it.
So this is a learning point. This is something to understand, that just go slow. I didn't have to be antsy, but I learned when we first met that we didn't have a strong communication. So I'm saying to everybody, communication is important in your early stages of, if it's a business proposition, if it's a work, if it's family, whatever it is, you have to communicate what you expect. But that's in those first early years or days that you meet. So just because he's buff and she got pretty eyes, and you'd be surprised how people meet and they never get to know the person.
Yeah.
So it's very important that all those things is helpful, but if you want a meaningful relationship, it costs time. It takes time to build. Find out those things, and because you don't have to wait the 5 years and say, "Oh, I didn't know they was like that." Well, them signs was there. We just missed him because you thought he was cute.
Yeah.
Or you thought, you were just looking at his legs.
Right.
I hear people say this, so that's why it's funny.
But that's true, because that's how me and my husband met.
Wait a minute. Wait. You met over because
he was coming from a basketball game,
okay,
and he wanted some water. I was at Darlene's house on a porch. He asked a neighbor, and she said no.
Okay.
And I offered.
I never heard the story.
Yeah, and I offered the water. But how it went on from there, I don't know. But that was one thing that I was attracted to, was his legs. Because he played basketball. I knew nothing about him.
And you was a woman at the well.
I was a woman at the well.
Wow. Okay, all right. So they met over water.
Knew nothing about relationships. And that's like anything, when you do stuff premature, it brings the struggle, the heartache.
So after the water, then what? It changed phone. I'm trying to see where this went, because this is the first time I'm hearing this story.
I can't even tell you
wow
how it went. I just know we got together.
He was talking to the neighbor, and you was looking at him. He was a basketball player.
Right.
So did you offer the water?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And from that is how we got here.
But here, okay.
But
So
the struggle in between.
in between. So you never had any kind of conversation after that to get to know the person, because that's not how we thought back then. We met people and
It wasn't even thought.
it's
It
not,
wasn't
so
even
that's why we're sharing today
Yeah.
that just because how you met, you got to realize that that's not what you see.
Yeah.
What you see is not who the person is.
Right.
Right? So he could have been a murderer. He could have been anything, because you don't know. And I tell people now, it's important not only to get to know who you meet, get to know the family, you talk to the friend, meet somebody to know what you're getting into, because years down the road, you can shun a lot of things if you had just had some of these conversations of who I'm meeting. So how you start sometimes is the way you end. So you was what, 16, 17?
Yeah.
A baby.
Still in high school.
Still in high school. So you still together now, got back together, but the process and the road. I want to talk to you and share with some people on, because you didn't get to know, you were still young. We all had our relationship. So we came up. I'm gonna talk about my culture, because only thing we wanted was somebody who can go to church, right? No, I'm saying it depends on what you want out of what you're doing. So at that point in my life, if they was willing to come to church,
They was willing to dress in white.
we wore white. So if they would put on a white suit, if we had praise service at church, if they put then they got to know that this is the only thing I got to do to get you. I want the women and the men to hear. Sometimes people motive is figuring you out what you want. They study you to know what makes you tick. They know how to woo you and have no intentions on carrying this out. It's just, I know she wants me to go to church. I know if I wear the white, I will get everything. This is my life. I'm telling my life. What do you know about your life, that how you met and hooked up with someone and it really wasn't real?
But the kicker is, not only we had help in this foolishness, because they knew how to get us. But once the older folks saw that you was trying, so they thought,
They helped us.
wolf in sheep clothing, apartments was given. It was a lot of things based on a look. You look like us because we're in white, but you never knew nothing about them.
So if anyone who's watching us don't know what we mean by white, at this church that I grew up in, on Sundays we wore, that was our uniform, white. So it was year round, and this was an attraction to most of the guys that we met. They knew that for my father and for people who was above us, only thing they had to do is put that white suit on. Matter of fact, they wouldn't draw them on.
Yeah.
So
Leos.
Leos on Germantown Avenue in North Philly, that's still there. They would take them up there and buy them a white suit. And that's all it took to get into our family. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. How did you meet, and over what, without knowing the person? One of my sisters, only thing you had to do is buy her Pepsi and get her a magazine. I'm really being serious, because this is why I'm talking, because people meet over a lot of things, and then you wonder why 5 years in, we're not even compatible. That's because you met over something that really didn't wasn't important. And let me say this to you, Gail. I still find people that I talk to today, as long as I find a church guy. Well,
Right.
let me explain to you. Just because they go to church,
Right.
let me help you to change that narrative. You want to find someone who knows God. I didn't know this company. As long as they went to church, we would go and find people. As long as they went to church. Now, mind you, we went to church.
Right.
But what was we doing? Crawling out windows, doing smoking, doing. Okay, that's the church girl. We looked at the part, but we wasn't following the rules and doing things. So only thing we had to do is find a church guy. So this is something else. Make sure that you find someone that loves the Lord, that loves God really, not because they come to a building, not because he know how to build a brick house, not because he drives
a few scriptures
or drive a nice car. You'd be surprised what we meet over. And then you talk to the person. I had a guy that tell me, I ain't even messing with her head. You know what he was saying?
Yeah.
He didn't care if she didn't know nothing or what. Only thing he saw was her body. This what he thought. Thinking like a man, operating like a woman. He didn't care what she knew. He was in it for what he wanted out of it. So that given early, what's that statement you always make to me? Why buy the cow
when you get to milk?
if you can get your milk? Just little pointers of be careful of the relationship and how you get
and value yourself.
Value
and so
yourself.
if he value you, he will give you.
And he will wait.
Yeah.
He will wait. You're worth it. You're worth waiting for. If someone values you, they will wait for you. Because once that is over.
And as I look back, I get girls now. And it's imperative that I tell my girls not only my story, but teach them along the way of their self-worth. You don't have to buy love. If he can't wait, you don't have to settle, because Solomon, he had concubines, and that's what you are. If he's not making you his wife, you are a concubine going from one to the other.
And you're worth more than that.
You are.
God made you, pulled you from his side for a helper. You help your sons, you can help your job.
Right.
You are a strong woman. Men, only thing we want is some respect. Women, only thing he wants is some attention and respect. Everybody do respect. Respect is not taking advantage of people. You might not feel that's what it is, but it's part of, you don't respect me. I do seminars and I talk to people. The first night, you done did, no, we ain't doing this. So it's just a real talk. We're just real talking today. Trauma starts over how you let somebody treat you. Okay, another thing. How do you know if this person is for you, of how you're going to be treated? Do you go around his mother? Do you talk to his girl, friends, his boyfriend? How do you get to know who you're hooking up with?
I can't really speak to that. There was a saying, if you watch how they treat his mother.
But you didn't get to that point.
I didn't
You didn't even know his mother, did you? Okay.
I didn't get to none of that.
But
I can't.
So let me tell you, I think I met my husband family probably 5 years after I know him. 5 years. He told me he had a family. I've never seen him. I wasn't planning on being in a relationship. That's another thing. Planning.
Yeah.
I met over playing music.
Yeah, so we missed the whole dating scene. We missed the whole courting scene. And for me, it was based on because I got pregnant, so I had to get married. So that cut all that out for me of getting to know. And so I got married because they told me. And a month after, I was back home.
What? A
A
month?
month after, I was back home.
And then you came out to California with me.
I was back home.
So did you have a ring? Did you didn't get any needs?
Oh no, I didn't have none of that.
Okay. Didn't even propose. So
I
I
had a proposal. Mommy asked him.
your mother asked him
My
to
mother
marry
asked him, set us at the dining room table, and asked him,
because she was embarrassed.
would he do it for her?
Oh, okay.
So he did. But a month later, I
You
was
did that.
back home.
So, our brother, we was having service at Mommy's house, which was 2 doors down from where I was living, and how you say you don't want your church people or people seeing you living like this, shacking up. So first my dad had said that he said, you know, this is not correct to get married, and I'm saying to people, if you're not ready for marriage, just don't do it for a reason. It's just because somebody said y'all look good together or you should get together because y'all stand together and you just take a walk down the aisle for a lifetime. I told him I'll go back and stay with mommy. I'll stay with my mother because I wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't. But my husband said, oh, we done been together this long, we might as well get married. Now, did that sound like a proposal? I mean, what did that sound like? That sound like somebody that just didn't want to be without a house. That was my friend. He was my guitar trainer. He was my person who trained me to play guitar. It was about marriage. I was running, you know what I was threatened by. I was running already just coming out of a relationship that was bad. I wasn't ready to take that on. But because I felt sorry, I got married in my performance dress.
You should have been fine for that.
And yeah, she was gonna find me because if we're in a singer group, so if we wear our clothes outside of when we're not singing, we're supposed to get fined. But she let me go because I'm walking down the aisle with this dress that we just got finished performing because I wasn't ready. I can't explain. For 6 years of my life after getting married, I was mad. I didn't like it because I felt like I married my friend. And it wasn't that type of, like I used to go when I wanted, he go out when he wanted. It wasn't that. So I don't know when it turned, but I could have just went home and we could have remained friends. So I'm saying, what is your reason for you walking down the aisle? What is the reason that you're hooking up? Because it's just because you got pregnant or just because you want to look, or another one, my time bomb is ticking.
Yeah.
Or I'm 40 years old now, I'm 50. So you just gonna find somebody just because you 50 years old? No. It's not worth it. I don't think. I'm just saying from my experience, I don't think it's worth it.
And then you break on other things, resentment,
Resentment?
and you begin to despise, because especially if you compare them to your mother or your father.
Oh, that's a
And it's a saying that goes around, you don't cook like my mother. And then a woman says, and you don't pay bills like my father.
Wow.
So it will always be a comparison. If you don't, you gotta come into it for the right reasons. And don't come into it because your, like you said, you was running from somebody.
Yeah.
So if you ain't closed that first door, you can't open.
I didn't get no healing from it. It was nothing. Just running, just getting in another relationship. And I had children in my home that had to be subject to this. They were subject to the arguments. They were subject to feeling like they was in the way. It's a whole thing that you mess up when you prematurely just doing things for the wrong reason.
And that goes back to that consideration. Do you consider the people that's attached to you that's going to be, whether it's child or adult, somebody else is going to be affected by the things we do. So you don't live for yourself or to yourself. Somebody is always going to be affected by it, good or bad.
So these just some real talk that we're doing of considering relationship, because it can lead to trauma.
Yeah.
It can lead to trauma.
But don't be so prideful. I had to give up being a mother because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to be a mother. I wasn't ready to be a wife. Just out of high school. Not even able to start my life yet. So that's why I gave them to you. Thank God for you and mommy that allowed me to get my head back together. Creating a safe place for people. People don't want to tell you, I can't do this. I don't feel like this. It's okay.
And realize that some people don't have that, right? So even as a human being, I think like that. Do you need a day for me to take your children and give you a break? You never know what somebody is going through because of pressure. You wasn't ready at 16.
Right.
And I wasn't, let me tell you, I was working 2 jobs. I was going for my life at the time that you gave me 3 kids. I had 3 children because of what we did. So I'm working 2 jobs, got 3 kids. That's not my birth kids, but I love children. But trying to work at night, calling back home to make sure they in the house, make sure they got to get up in the morning. This what you bring on when you rush. When you get into things, you cause others. We had to fight for you. That's another thing of not you cause other people to get into things. So I wasn't gonna let you go down. So we walk in the street at night, coming to protect you. So sometimes all these things come into play. And then the next day or 2 days later, you was back with the man and he mad at me. No, this how it happens. So sometimes you go into the rescue of people and they'll work it out. They will work it out. And now you sitting on the side and the people mad at you because you went to somebody else's defense. So it's a lot. It's a lot in relationships.
That's why we're talking about it now, to try to help somebody.
Sometimes you can't run to people jump in somebody's relationship or come. Now, one thing I did do, and I'm saying this to everybody, I don't go for domestic violence. There's one thing I told my sister and my sisters. I'm okay that you want to stay and work out your relationship, but don't ask me to accept violence. That's a no tolerance for me. And there's a lot of people, women that I met, and believe it or not, there's some men that get beat up.
But how about it's just not physical abuse? There is mental, and that's just worse.
Man, you live with somebody that say they love you, and every time you turn, they call you names. You ain't worth it. I don't even know why I'm with you. I mean, I hear all kinds of stuff. Mental abuse,
right?
Emotional. Come on.
on, family. Let's work this out. And then you got children that sit around and hear this. So then they grow up and you wonder where they get some of this stuff from. So, well, that's what you did to their mother. That's what you did to their father. So just being conscious of what you're doing in your relationship and how you can do better, because we're thinking now. I won't do the same things I did 20, 30 years ago. I know better.
Well, I can't do what I used to do 30 years, but I have girls. I have to be transparent.
Don't forget the sons too.
Yeah, I won't forget the sons, but I know some of the dumb stuff that I did. And I want to make sure I say dumb stuff that yes.
You had the out there with the dumb stuff? Oh, okay.
And so I don't want repeat behavior, because you don't have to train them with your mouth. They watch you. They can pick up, learn behavior. You know, this is
what
how
you did.
This is how culture come about. No, it's not. It's not okay. I'm telling you, it's not okay. It wasn't okay for me, and it's sure not okay for you.
So there's just some things that we learned in our life, and we sharing. I don't know if anyone here and Crystal, do we have anyone that want to ask any questions? Say, because we're open. We're not experts. We're just sharing our truth. If I can help someone along the way, I will. Do you have any questions or anything that anybody just want to know? Because we still had to get over trauma because of things that we did. Okay, so I think we have a question. If you want to.
So is it better to marry than to burn better? Ain't that what the old folks tell us in the word?
I let you judge.
The word does say that it's better to marry than to burn. However, make sure you consider everything, because you can fulfill the itch. But what about all the other? What about next week when it changed? What about can't keep a roof over your head? What about food? And then if you bring children in, what about the training up of a child when you just got into it because of that itch? So it doesn't. So
could you control the itch? They say cold showers. Do that work?
I don't say that cold shower work.
I'm not gonna walk down the aisle,
but I'm not gonna. I know the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn. Mm-hmm. But Lord, please get some discipline, because self-controls.
But sometimes you get into these relationships over that, and it can. All relationships are not bad. We're not saying all relationships are bad. Some turn out and be good. But if you don't know and don't ask the question, when I was younger, about 16, I used to teach the young girls. I know this probably not going to sit well with a lot of people, but this is because I thought about that. Have your nature is running and then burning. It's good, and fornication, whatever it is that you're not supposed to be doing. I taught them about birth control. I might have been wrong to do this, but I would rather for you to do something else than being after that is over, and then now you're in an abusive relationship. The only thing they wanted was to get the itch off or satisfy the flesh, and then you stuck with you don't even know the person. So it's.
And once that's done, you don't open up a can of worms. You can't pull it back in there. Yeah. So
I would say pray a lot. Try to ask God for some control or something, because I don't think that that's the answer of.
Now, when we came along, we had a village, but now everything is so free. You don't know what nobody's doing, and until either they come up pregnant or not just pregnancy diseases. So when you look at somebody that's animated about just doing this, what's the rush?
Well, it's the flesh.
I know.
It's the flesh, but it can be dangerous. That's your reason for marrying.
Right.
You know,
And for me, what made me start having sex, I was going to wait. That was in my mind, to wait till I got married. And it was a neighbor of mine that liked me. And I told him I was waiting for my husband. It was a young man that I liked. And so he told me, I don't know what you waiting for him for. He got somebody pregnant. You 9 months. Do you know how devastating that was to me? And because he told me that, I was clueless. I wasn't aware of the signs. I thought he was waiting. And so, because of that, then I started sleeping with people, other people.
Oh, there's a get back going.
It was a get back.
Oh wow.
So
I'm on this. I'm learning as I go. I mean, I heard some of your story, and you know some of mine, but it seems like every other week you want to pull out a new story.
I found he got
this
a free
is my
space.
buddy, but she just pulling out like you did that to get back at him.
I did it to get back at
So
him.
when you look at relationships and people together, you don't even know why people together. You might be together just because you just want to make somebody else mad. You together because this. Come on, man.
That's how it's so.
Wow. So is anybody married or in a relationship for love?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
I got to ask the camera people over there. Is it a love thing going on with you young ladies?
It was love going out the door. That was something for the old people.
That was.
Now it's convenience.
But we're joking about it, but this is a serious thing that we talk about. So you know what I think about Rachel and Leah when you just said that story. He wanted Rachel. This is a Bible story, but the culture back there, the older one could not get married until the young could get married to the older one. I'm trying to figure out, because they say everything is in the Bible. I don't think people really took a look at this story, because this is deep. That somebody that you're in love with, that you're crazy about, that you have feeling, have to marry his older sister first. And going to work 7 more years for you. What in the bleeds? Like, what? This is like altering things.
Yeah.
We tell the story or read things as if it's just okay. That's a Bible story, or that's just somebody's situation. This is devastation. This to me, he didn't like her. So, is your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your relationship, is people with you because they couldn't get who they want?
And that plays a huge part on the family dynamic. So it's hurtful. It's hurtful to the kids because we playing around with our feelings and different things, and kids come from the relationship, and then we wonder because if he's not into the mother, a lot of times he ain't going into the child. So it's a
whole thing of making sure that we get off on the right bit. First of all, God first.
Yeah.
I say this to anybody, even if you don't know God or have a God, or don't have something called higher power, whatever you want to call it, you need to put God first. And then you need to be able to get to know whatever it is that you're gonna get involved with. That can be a working relationship. You know, there's some people that let's go to jobs and everything because they see a figure. Oh, I'm gonna be making $26 an hour, but they didn't tell you you're gonna be working in a closet. You took what you wanted or what was appealing to you, but you never asked, do this job have insurance?
Yeah.
Do they have benefits? What's gonna cover me? So that's in every part. It's not just intimate relationship, it's every part of your life that you're in a relationship. You have to study it. You have to get involved and ask the questions.
Ask the right questions.
Well,
You have to ask the right
some of
questions.
them, we didn't ask nothing. We wasn't right or wrong. We didn't ask anything. So right, the
Throw
right
it up in
question.
the air and hope that it's stuck.
Man, I enjoy talking to you today about this because you know we got girls we talk to all the time. We got young men that we talk to. So I try to catch them early. You know, like what you doing here? What's your involvement? Is you too young to be this serious right now. So I'm talking to the single people too. Sometimes we so because your girlfriend got peer pressure. It's my girlfriend got one boyfriend. I mean, I heard all kinds of stories of why people hook up. But what I'm asking you, pleading with you, take the time, get your life, travel the world some. Think about what you're doing. Because that is a commitment and that's a road when you go down. It's life altering to just because somebody else did it. Or my time get older and I just want to get, or I'm lonely. You might be lonely that night, but you got to come home once you hook up. It ain't
Get a
just
dog.
oh God. She said get a dog.
Oh,
Okay. That's a man's best friend. Okay. Okay. But you said
Something. I'm not gonna do it.
you're not gonna get a cat.
But I'm saying if you're lonely, you just need something.
Yeah.
They
It's not
got
worth
yeah.
it's not worth hooking up or doing things just because of. These just some points.
It mess your future.
Whole future.
Yeah.
That's everything. I the guy that I was being threatened with, harassed by, you know how he got in my house? He said he had nowhere to live. I knew this guy since eighth grade. He was a neighborhood friend. I never did have no feelings or nothing for him. But because he said he needed somewhere to stay, sometimes some doors you can't even open.
But
If you know, I didn't know it was going to be that deep, because I'm a person that I will help you.
yeah, and I always told you and Darlene about that. Your feelings.
Yeah.
No boundaries.
No boundary.
And
He needed somewhere to stay, and I put him in the basement.
you don't like the males that you were involved with. You did not like them.
But I wasn't in it for that. I
know,
didn't know he liked it me. That's
Yeah.
the point. Sometimes you got to find out what people's intentions are. My intentions was he needed somewhere to stay. That was it. This is how things can get rolling, and just the trauma came at it. It was a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still being threatened.
Yeah.
All these years because of my heart being soft, bringing him in. So one day I decided to go out. You just live there. And that turned into an argument, which was little, compared to one day our brother who had, what was the name of their business? Blue Stones in the event held a party on City Line Avenue. I will never forget it. It used to be North America, the hotel. And we was just getting people to fill this party. He said, invite people. I invited the young man to the party. At this time, family, friends, I used to drink. Pouring in, and they make, to this day, I want to find out from, it's a deacon at our church named Jermaine, and it's our brother, who's a bishop now. I want to find out what that punch was, how they made that stuff, because whatever they put inside that, I was on top of the table. I'm a quiet person. I'm dancing, I'm doing, it was what, but that night when I went home, still intoxicated, we slept together. This real talk. I would have never done that.
And that was, you did it because you was intoxicated, but that was something in his mind already that he wanted you inclusive.
So that next day,
yeah,
we was a couple to him.
Right.
You know, gave in.
Yeah.
And now,
and that's what people think. Because I had sex, that's love. It's so far from the truth. Having sex with somebody do not mean I love you or in love with you. It don't mean none of that.
So about a week later, when I went out with someone else, I came back. My drums, we had a band. We had all the equipment in the basement. The drums was in the trash. My guitar was outside on the sidewalk. Everything in my house was outside in the trash. It took me and the children. This is how you get other people involved. And they was mad because my new stuff was out on the sidewalk. That was how he was getting me back. So we had to bring all that heavy stuff back in because of a night. Because of one mistake. You can make one mistake.
Under
the influence of whatever that is, mine was alcohol. Yours can be thinking, sometimes abandonment. Sometimes people been rejected. So anybody that shows you attention, anybody that just seems like you're falling for it. So every other week, I was bringing something out of the trash. Glad the trash man didn't get it. I had some good stuff. Yeah. So it took me one violent night that he went after one of my nieces. You care about her more than you care about me. And he grabbed her and I lost it. This is all because it goes back to that one night. I called the police. I got a let me tell you about restraining orders that works as long as I don't know where it worked at. Because he knew the rules to the restraining order that I had against him. So when I called the cops, he made sure he go around the corner because he had to be 500 feet away from me. So when they came, he wasn't there. He around the corner. As soon as they left, back around the corner he came. This was like a mouse and cat game. It was so frustrating, Bill. But this is why I'm telling people now, be careful because you don't know who you're hooking up with. You don't know what's going to befall. So what they told me, the police told me, I said, I need him out of this house. Did you know the rules is if somebody stay with you for 6 months or a year, that's legally there, they
got mail coming in?
I had to learn that I couldn't even put him out my own house.
Yep. He got some belongings there. If he got some clothes in that closet,
he had clothes there.
So the police or not.
Right. So the police told me I can ask him to leave for a couple of nights or something, but legally he lived here. Don't bring nobody clothes and stuff in your house.
Nope. Especially if you ain't got yourself together, because the minute you get mad, his stuff is going out anyway.
Well, me and Tiara and Erica and Akeem, Monica, these are my nieces and nephews that was involved in the next one. We got trash bags. We bought a whole box of trash bags. And probably was 10 in there or 20, I don't know how many boxes. And I had the kids involved with packing this guy's clothes that we took to his sister's house that said it ain't coming in there. You know, I left that right at her sidewalk. I'm talking about getting into things. And yes, I was going to church. Yeah. Some of these things you find in the church, in the streets. It's not really limited to just people that's, white, black. It's everyone. Just be careful. I don't know what else to say. Like right now, I'm just mad about. I need to go to therapy. I'm on a couch, but I need to go to real therapy because when I start talking about it, I get mad again.
Well, you're having therapy. You're able to talk about it. I always say, heal the root
Yeah.
so that your fruit can grow. It's so much in you to do, but you can't do it because you'll always be pulled back in your mind to the past.
So I'm just trying to tell them some of my stories, though.
Yeah,
I hope it's not reliving, because
Tell
the one guy called me at work at night and told me that somebody had broken our apartment.
trauma.
Sure.
Trauma.
I got off of work, went home, trying to see what they stole or what happened. And he told me there was a window in our bedroom that was about this size. He said the person came in the window. I couldn't even, you laughing, you couldn't even get a baby through this window. That's where the person broke in our house at, through this window. And all my CDs, I was in the military, Gil, and I brought a lot of stuff from overseas and stuff that I treasured. All the stuff was gone. Only thing left on my bed was the gospel tapes. He took all my R&B, he took my jazz, he took it. I'm beginning to cry again because some of this stuff was meaningful to me. I went to Iceland, I went to things, and I gathered things from where, you laughing? Where I've been. And he gonna leave the gospel tapes there. Why didn't you take all of it? So at this time, I didn't know. Like, who would come in here and actually go through my CD and just leave Shirley Caesar and the whinings up here on the bed? It took me a month later that we went to his mother's house. And I was telling her how somebody broke in our house and left the gospel tapes. She said, girl, ain't nobody, he did that. He did that to my house. He left them, it was gospel tape. Do you know how I could have swung him in front of his mother to know that nobody really broke in my house, that it was him? What I'm saying, I didn't know him and he was on drugs. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know the signs. I didn't know the signs of a drug addict. He sold this stuff for drugs. But I was living with him and didn't even know that he was on drugs. So it's so much I could talk about of not knowing, getting to study somebody, getting information. Talk to somebody that knows who you're dating. You like say she laughing, but it's okay. I'm gonna get the.
We can laugh at it now,
I had African elephants.
Back then it wasn't, but I'm glad that you're freeing yourself.
I'm freeing myself.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes you act hard to other people because of what somebody. If you don't get healing from it, so the next people in your life or business relationship that you have, you really acting out on them, and it's not their fault. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to do it again. I thank God for who he is in our life now, what we got to learn. And we'll continue this conversation on different things, how you still have to heal from trauma 30 years later.
Yeah.
I'll let
But
you
I'm glad of this day. And nothing we went through will be wasted. I was often told, unless you go through, you won't be able to teach someone else. So it's good when you have nieces, friends, and you tell your story, because I'm writing a book that I wish I could have read. I wish someone was there to. Back then, they was too ashamed and embarrassed to tell their story. But I'm glad that we are able to create a safe place. The Bible says God desires truth from the inward part. And a broken and a contrite spirit, God will not despise. And I'm a firm believer in many are the afflictions of the righteous, but out of them all, God will deliver. David said that it's good that I was afflicted because I come to know your law. So tonight, we're grateful, we are thankful that we're able to be here to share our story. Um, it's not over. He's given us this opportunity to share, to laugh, to cry. But Clark's sisters sing a song that although I've been tried like silver in the fire, but we come out as pure gold. So I'm thanking God for sparing a life and allowing us to still be here to tell a story. And I thank God for you that has tuned in to listen to us conversate with each other. It's freedom.
And hopefully something that we said will help you, or you can think about it. Just think about any relationships that you're in. Intimate, work, business, family, whatever kind of relationship. It's two different people coming together and find that common ground.
Yeah.
And work out the difference. So until next time,
Love God,
love
love family,
your family,
work hard, and be kind.
and be kind. Yeah.